Hi folks, welcome to the Lion's Share. We have a little something different for you this time around. It started out as what would be a life lesson for folks who wouldn't otherwise have exposure to such information, if you will. So yeah, it kind of morphed, and we'll go into that. But you know, good life lesson for the folks out there is never do acid with an experienced hippie. I did that, and first time too, only time really, and yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. Apparently, experienced hippies have a higher level of lysergic blah 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 acid in their bloodstream, and it only takes just a little bit, and they're just kind of standing around waiting for the switch to flip, and they can start controlling colors and such. No kidding. There's a current craze with the cannabis legalization all over the country, where folks don't want to smoke, so they'll take an edible gummy bear, a piece of chocolate, and they're not feeling it, so they will take another, have another one, and they don't realize that they have just initiated a second stage on a booster rocket on the trip to the moon. It's a quiet rocket. There's no rumble, no shake. What it does is it starts a countdown that you can't hear, and it lights a fuse. So we're all down at deer camp and getting along with it, if you will, and the stuff started making my stomach a little queasy. So I excused myself. We were camping in a large barn that was about half full of hay. And if you've never seen $3,000 worth of hay, you don't realize how much hay that is. It's a lot of hay. Farmers out there, guys with cows and horses, they will definitely agree. So I went and laid down a little bit, kind of relaxing myself out there, trying to talk myself into maintaining the grip on the planet. And a comet flew by through the barn. Now initially I was afraid to look. I was deathly afraid that there was going to be a giant wizard in a robe over there with a staff shooting comets out of his ass. That wasn't the case. It was my experienced hippie shooting bottle rockets into the barn full of hay. So I got to tell you that nothing will heighten your experience like a little bit of panic. I jumped up and tried to make sure there were no fires and stuff until the bottle rockets ran out. Now I did have my stepbrother there. Love you, Sea Dog. Also, while younger than me, also an experienced hippie. He was no help. He's jumping off the roof, having him a good old time, because he knew what to expect. He's like, I can't wait, man. This is gonna be just the stuff. So we monkeyed around there for a little bit, and I ended up just feeling a little queasy. I ended up on a table in the cabinet shop where they made cabinets and such inside the barn, and everyone had gathered around asking, what's wrong, Ron? You okay? And I'm like, well, feeling a little strange. I thought I was going to throw up a while ago. Now, being the true brothers that they were, they lit into my ass. Gonna throw up? He's gonna throw, what the hell? And I laughed, and sticking with the rocket ship analogy, I threw up into the floor right there like a rocket ship exhaust. Onto this concrete slab floor that was covered with a layer of sawdust, and it must have taken 15 to 20 seconds for the little droplets out at the edge to stop rolling to stop. Well, I say 15 or 20 seconds. My perception may have been off, altered, a little bit, you know. And so again, being the true brothers that they were, they again lit into my ass. Hey, what the hell? Are you just puking the floor, man? Yeah. You would have thought that I shit on the table at a church function. You know. And I kind of laughed and stuff. I did not realize until years later, and I had to apologize when I found this out, but I did not realize the level of trauma that I had just exposed my fellow astronauts to when my face melted off and ran into the floor. Again, sorry guys. So I knew what was going on. It was the queasiness in my stomach. What I kind of have later come to realize is that was motion sickness, and it was caused by my rocket ship leaving the atmosphere. So, in the grand scheme of things, it was better off, and it was a little relaxing that after the fact I didn't have the queasiness in my stomach. But some fool came up with the genius idea to turn the lights off, and dark. Now it's 11 o'clock at night, so off went the lights, and on comes Cartoon World. I mean, Roger Rabbit ain't got nothing on this. The small cabinet shop that we were sitting in became a cathedral. I mean, I could see the beams in the ceiling, and it was just like a big arched, whoa, to say the least. And like a flash, a memory came back to me from when I was 10 or 12 years old. My dad told me during the drug education phase of my early teens, somewhere along in there, we were discussing the effects of drugs, and my dad had told me that LSD makes you feel small. And being my age, I thought that it made you feel insignificant, which, maybe, looking back now, that may be an intellectual jump for someone that age to think that, well, it makes you feel insignificant in the world. It makes you feel, little in the grand scheme of things. That's not the case. It makes you feel subatomic, microscopic. You could be in a closet and it would look like a football field to you, I'm guessing. Now the neural connection back to that memory was one of the coolest things about the entire experience, and that's the reason that that this life experience lesson, if you will, has kind of morphed. I had become a fly on the wall, almost in a literal sense, and I realize now that boy, that the Cartoon World thing, that's how you find yourself down at the Dairy Queen fighting zombies in the back parking lot with a sword made out of a dead raccoon. When I started writing this bit, it was literally the night before my experienced hippie left us. He went to the big commune in the sky. But in case you haven't figured out yet, Dad is the experienced hippie. Yeah, well, you have to know us. It's quite shocking to hear that sort of thing. My dad always said that he could be used as a bad example in life, with drugs, with drinking, with crazy psychopathic women. And I have to say that I learned my lessons secondhand, the easy way. I kind of took Dad's word for a lot of things, and he I won't say he never led me astray, but the majority of the time everything was cool. This life lesson kind of morphed into a eulogy as it got further along. See, See, Dad was a good bad example, but just like just like in the story here, Dad left me prepared for so many things, with drugs, with alcohol, with crazy psychopathic women. I love you, Dad. But as negative as it may seem to some people, uh, like I said, looking from your side, uh, could be bad, depending on your morality and your experiences in life. But looking at it from my side, look at the look on my face and tell me, was it a bad thing? uh, Dad set me up, and he told me how to be prepared. Now, whether or not I held on to it and filed it away in my knowledge bank was kind of left to me. But Dad had a life lesson for every situation, it seemed like. I mean, sometimes I thought he was 126 years old. Uh, Dad made it to the ripe old age of 69, and I would be remiss if I didn't say 69 every time I say that. One of his favorite numbers. So, this be a lesson to you. Teach your kids, even if it's about the really stupid shit that you've done in your life. This one's for you, Dad.